Let's take a deep dive into the score report of a one-star school to better understand the quantitative part of Nevada's holistic approach to measuring school performance. After stakeholder meetings across the state, policy achievement level descriptors were created to define performance expectations for each of the 5 star ratings. These policy descriptors are succinct and clear, linked to the state's goals, and identify the most critical outcomes for each performance level. A one-star rating identifies a school that has not met the state standard for performance. At a one-star school, we would expect to see students and subgroups inconsistent in achieving performance standards, multiple areas that need improvement, including some significantly below standards. Such a school would be subject to state interventions and required to submit an improvement plan targeted at below standard indicators. Schools earn points on the different indicators for things like achievement, growth, and engagement. The total points add up to an index score. To dive deeper into how these points were earned, check the point attribution tables available online at nevadareportcard.com. But as a reminder, full points are earned when a school meets the state's 2022 long-term goals, half points for meeting the 2017 state goals, and minimum points possible by performing at the 15th percentile of statewide student performance. Let's take a closer look at a school report and find out why this school is a one-star school. We'll start with the Academic Achievement Indicator. This school has earned only 3 out of 25 possible points for this indicator. Their math proficiency rate is at 16.1%, far below the state's expectation of 42.9%. 26.4% proficiency for English language arts is also below the state's expectation of 52.4%. A pooled proficiency rate of 21.3% is below the minimum expectation, which is set at the 15th percentile for statewide student performance, or 26% for this measure. For this pooled proficiency rate, they earn just 1 point. However, 34.7% of their third graders are passing the state's English language arts assessment, showing progress with their Read by Grade 3 initiatives, and thus earned 2 out of 5 possible points for this measure. Let's take a look at another indicator to make sure we understand how to interpret these reports. Overall, this school has low growth, especially with math, and, of caution, their Math and ELA Adequate Growth Percentile, AGP, is the percentage of students on track to become or stay proficient in 3 years, is significantly below standard, with these students performing even below the 5th percentile of statewide student performance. Our minimum expectations for performance is at the 15th percentile of statewide performance, or 35% for ELA AGP and 23% for Math AGP. Now let's look at their English language proficiency indicator. This school happens to be designated a Zoom school, receiving additional state funding support for their English language learners. This school is performing at a similar rate of other elementary schools in the district and within the 50th percentile of statewide student performance. This rate is showing that just below half of their English language learners are on track to exiting EL services. Let's move on to the Closing Opportunity Gap Indicator. This school is unable to close opportunity gaps with the prior non-proficient students and not on track toward proficiency. Again, this school performs below the 15th percentile for statewide student performance. Now let's look at their Student Engagement Indicator. They have a high chronic absenteeism rate of 18.5%, a rate higher than the district average, and though they have earned the climate survey bonus points for this year, meeting the 55% participation rate threshold, in order to receive these 2 points again next year, they have to have a big jump to increase their participation rate to 75%. As we've described, this is a one-star school because they are not meeting the state's performance expectations and have multiple areas that require attention. And there are many areas that are far below expectations. Be sure to check other videos in this series for help interpreting score reports at other star levels or to understand specific components of Nevada's school performance framework. All videos can be found at www.doe.nv.gov/accountability.